for some people, the thought of retiring causes more anxiety than excitement. The reality of no longer receiving a paycheck can be a tough pill to swallow. So here to talk about that and so much more is Ohio's retirement coach, Greg Taylor, who's the president of Legacy Retirement Group. Good to see you, Greg.
Good to see you. Happy fourth day of the week.
Fourth day of the week.
Yeah, Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday. Okay, good. I'm like glad you can count. Listen, I was sick
After your
this
intro,
week,
you
so
have to be creative, right?
I gotcha. All right, so there is always anxiety though, Greg, when it comes to money, when it comes to your income. So this first question we have, it is a big fear for somebody. They said, when I retire, the paychecks stop, right?
Right.
But the bills don't. I don't have a pension, but I've saved very well. Still, I worry I'll have enough. What is your advice?
You know, we find this all the time. People have a great plan for saving money, but not such a great plan, or at least they don't have confidence that they can spend money. You know, we don't know how long we're going to live, maybe 90, maybe longer. And so having a good, solid income plan is crucial. Not that you're going to run out of money just by investing or using good common sense, but having the confidence that you can fulfill all those dreams and promises, that you can live the lifestyle that you've envisioned if you save well, plan well, and then you can have that confidence.
Okay, that's all it takes. It sounds easy, right? Okay, we'll go to question 2. So how do I calculate how much risk I should have in my portfolio? Greg, you've mentioned this before, but it's always good to remind us of a formula for this.
There's a simple rule called the rule of 100. So if you're 60 years of age, roughly, if you take 100, subtract 60, roughly 40% of your portfolio should be in stocks. And then we want to take a little more conservative approach on the other 60%. Now, it's hard for people to do that because we get used to doing things, and sort of that idea, well, if it isn't broken, then I don't need to fix it. But people don't realize that as you transition from your working years into retirement, you now also need to transition your way of investing. And one of those is going from the old buy and hold, you know, kind of strategy to more of a tactical management strategy. And understanding this, risk isn't always just whether or not you're in stocks or bonds or mutual funds or whatever. Sometimes it's how you have your portfolio structured. So the idea is to have your number as such that your risk level is below your average rate of return. When you do that, then you can be more confident.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, question 3, Greg. I'm 53, thinking about retiring early at age 55. I'm jealous of this. What steps should I be taking right now to make that happen?
Well, that's only 2 years, so there's some massive steps. First of all, you need to make sure that you have enough money saved. You have to have a plan for health care. Health care is one of the biggest expenses retirees face if they're not old enough to go on Medicare. So this is huge. I mean, we're finding people paying as much as $1,200 or $1,500 a month.
That's a mortgage. Yeah,
It really is. It's like taking on a mortgage in retirement. So you have to account for health care. That's a big one. You have to make sure that you have something to do, right? I mean, a passion, because we find that people are getting bored when they retire early. So financially set yourself up, make sure you've saved enough. Before you pull that trigger, make sure you have all your ducks lined up. And if so, have at it and have a great time.
Okay, that's what it's all about. Question 4. I've heard that life insurance, using that can be an efficient way to offset taxes in retirement. Is that true? Greg, that seems like an oversimplified way of looking at it, is it?
It can be. And what we're finding is we're finding more and more professionals, business owners, people like this that have incomes that are too high to qualify to contribute to a Roth IRA, so they don't really get the advantage of that tax-free income coming in from Roth IRAs in retirement. So there's certain types of life insurance. We call it a LIRP, a life insurance retirement plan. And, you know, we just did one for a family where, you know, they were going to put in $10,000 a year for 10 years, let it rest for a while, and then we're going to pull out significant amounts of income that can be tax-free in retirement. So it's not the end all be all, but it is a solution that some people find attractive. So understand, every financial tool is simply just that, a tool. So you don't want to go anywhere where someone has a predetermined notion as to which tool you should use, whether it be an annuity, whether it be life insurance, whether it be a stock or a bond or a mutual fund. Just make sure that you're always finding someone that can help you find the appropriate tool for what it is you're trying to achieve.
Okay, if you have a question for Greg, questions at ohiosretirementcoach.com. Kristen will join us next as we prepare for a Trump inauguration in just 2 days. So the retirement duo will help us decipher how his policies might impact your retirement plans.